Hey beauties, it's Riri. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. Sorry about the light. We're going to switch that in just a second. I decided to test out the Pat McGrath Labs, the Bijoux Brilliance palette. I did get this on clearance on sale from Sephora at the end of the year, and I have not tested it yet, so I want to do so with you guys. As you can see, we have some neutrals, a little bit of pops of green, and then we have a couple of blushes. So I'm really excited. I'm going to turn this just a touch. I'm really sorry about the lighting. My mirror is down here. Let me know how you guys feel about this angle. I feel like it's a little more comfortable for me because my mirror can be closer, but then I can still converse and we can still chat. Have you tried Pat McGrath Labs? What are your favorite products from Pat McGrath? I am going to go into this little dusty shade right here first on a fluffy brush. I'm getting a substantial amount of kick up, but it does pick up beautifully on the brush. This is a Clarity Cosmetics K1126. I'm going to pop this, wow, that comes on way darker than I anticipated. I'm going to pop this in my crease area and bring it all the way into the inner corner area, kind of in the hollow of my eye, if you will. Mother Pat just broke the internet with her latest looks and creations, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take this palette out and we're gonna test it out today. I have a few palettes from Pat McGrath. I love her mascara and I really like the lipsticks as well. And I'm not aiming to do anything, you know, super crazy, super out there. I definitely try on my channel to be as beginner friendly as I can possibly be. But I thought that this was a great value. I think I paid like $40 for this, or $45, something like that. I'll pop it on the screen because I don't quite remember. But I thought it was an amazing value to be able to get 2 blushes and all of these eyeshadows. And I really loved the fact, y'all know that I love green, so I loved the fact that this had a lot of neutrality to it, but then also leaning a little bit more cool, and then those little pops of the greens, which I'm not using the greens today because I'm, you know, going with a little bit of a pinky vibe, I guess. But I was excited to get this, and I did order back, you know, last year. I got 2 of the mini blushes, which I feel like are this same size or maybe smaller than these 2 blushes, and I think I paid like $19 each for those. So I paid as much for those as I did for this entire palette. So yeah, when I saw this, I was like, yeah, I want to have this. I'm very, very inspired by Pat McGrath. I am not somebody that gets into social media makeup, if you will, because I know, you know, that typically most people are not wearing that style of makeup, you know, when they're going to work and stuff like that. I'm going right here. And I like to kind of get an actual makeup artist perspective on things. And I love the way that, first and foremost, the way that she treats skin. Nothing ever looks overly matte, thick, cakey, or anything like that. And I'm a very much like less is more beauty, less is more approach to things. And I know social media is not about that. Social media makeup is first and foremost, you know, most people are trying to get you to buy something. And most people are trying to, you know, influence us into buying something. And I get that. That's, you know, that's their job. I'm not hating anybody. But most people, most of us, if we're going to work, if we're going to school, whatever the case may be, we are not wearing, you know, rainbow cut creases with lashes that touch our brows. And I love that she's bold, adventurous, and creative, but her actual makeup, her makeup application, and her technique is very much a less is more approach. Is very, you know, approachable. I feel like it's very beginner friendly. I mean, aside from the most recent looks, of course, but I look up to her. I look up to a lot of the kind of more, I guess, you know, old school makeup artists, Wayne Goss and Candy Johnson and, you know, people like that. Because I am somebody that likes to do a more beginner friendly type of tutorial or looks for people. And a lot of that is because I know that for me and for the people, you know, kind of in my circle, you know, people that I personally know, not very many of us are not doing kind of a standard, if you will, or a more wearable, quote, end quote, you know, look for the day. Meaning, you know, most people that I personally know, most of you watching as well, you know, you're going to work, you're going to school, you are, you know, going on a date night with hubby, whatever the case may be. And we don't want or need all the time all of the bells and the whistles and the full coverage and the lashes out to here and the, hopefully I'm making sense. I love the fact that she keeps things just very poignant and very deliberate. And I love that. I'm going in with this little shimmer shade right here. I'll swatch all these for you too. Oh, that is so pretty. When I'm looking straight down at this, I'm seeing just soft pink. But then there's like a lot of like blue sparkle in here, and it's very, very bright and shifty. I am not going to use a glitter glue. I typically would, but again, I'm just trying to make this very beginner friendly. And I just wanted to kind of do a quick little look with you guys and just chat, just catch up. I hope you guys are well. So pretty. Oh, I love it. And I love shades like these. I talk about this all the time, where instead of kind of trying to reach full opacity with this, getting a substantial amount of fallout, and that's okay. But instead trying to get like full opacity, taking and just barely tapping into this shade and then popping it all over your entire makeup look, your eye look. And it just gives this beautiful like diamond ethereal effect, very much like my Fenty Beauty, the Diamond Bomb. I get the same look, and I know I would get the same look with this. I'm gonna wait until I'm off camera. I will either dust this away with a little bit of powder, or you can take a little tiny piece of Scotch tape or an eye tape, put on the back of your hand, kind of get a little bit of the stickiness off, and then press that to here, and it's gonna take that away. I'm happy where I'm at. I do want to test out the blushes. I might go in with both. This is a Sonia G Designer Pro. I got this in my lucky bag last year. I also want to get up close to and just show you the level of fallout. The one shade didn't have hardly any fallout, and the other one has a substantial amount. So I'm going to go into this beautiful, very soft pink first. And I think I want to pop that the front part of my cheeks. And I like that even in this little tiny palette, like there's some depth here, and I feel like you could be, you know, light skin and go all the way up to deeper skin tones, and I think that it's pretty inclusive in that way. But yeah, I am so inspired by so many makeup artists, but I kind of feel like we all, you know, especially if you're on social media, we all kind of get into a funk, you know, sometimes, and, you know, you lose your motivation or whatever, and that's with anybody, with anything in life, with work, with your house, with whatever. Going into the other shade now, and I'm going to pop that towards the top. But I feel like we all kind of lose our motivation, so then watching somebody like Pat McGrath, somebody like Wayne Goss, whomever, you know, you kind of look up to, I feel like it just kind of lights a fire, and I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that is the kind of beautiful, powerful thing about makeup. I like to kind of blend my blush into my eye look. I love that these both have a little bit of like a luminous quality to them. Hopefully you guys can see that. They're not like sparkly or shimmery or anything like that. It's just like a little bit of like an ethereal kiss from within, if you will. This looks beautiful. This came together so freaking quickly. They blend like a dream, like they typically do. And I love blush. That looks so good. I actually think, because I did get so much fallout, I'm going to take a little pencil brush and spray it. And I'm going to go back into that shade, the little sparkly shade. And if you can't beat them, join them. I'm just going to pop that on the inner corner and bring it down slightly to the lower lash line as well. Then I'm going to go back into the deeper shade that I used on this exact same brush. And I just want to run that on the lower lash line. All right, I'm done. I'm literally going to throw on some Essence Lash Without Limits, the brown mascara. It's a new release for them. And I'm going to go into my Huda Beauty Lip Contour in Sandy Beige. And then I'll go in with the Give by Gwen Stefani lipstick in the shade Tragic Me. I'll come back and do some swatches and we'll wrap it up. And here is our finished look. I did pop a little bit of my Fenty Beauty Diamond Bomb in How Many Carats as my highlighter. I love it so much. All right. I'm going to swatch these all for you really quickly. Here are the two blushes. that is it. Here's an up-close look. Again, I was just inspired. I think this is such a beautiful palette. I honestly think this would be, even though it's a little bit bigger and a little bit heavier, I think it would be a perfect travel palette just because there's so much in here that you could use, your blushes and your eyeshadows, and you could create a little bit more depth. You could go very natural, very soft if you wanted to. You could do the greens if you wanted to, but I was just super inspired to play with this palette. I love Pat McGrath. I think she is a phenomenal artist. Who are your favorite artists? I would love to know. Thank y'all for joining. Thank you to my beautiful channel members. I love you beauties. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. And of course, be your own best beautiful. Bye beauties.